So I have a confession to make. When I first saw Clerks in 1997, I didn't really care for it. I didn't think it was that funny, but I stuck with it. I watched it many times. I actually watched it this many times. And you know what happened? This movie just clicked. One day it just clicked, and it was one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. What's up, guys, and welcome to Movie Importance movie review of Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, the newest film from director Kevin Smith, and of course stars Kevin Smith as Silent Bob and Jason Mewes as Jay. And so this movie is really interesting because this is almost a sequel to Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, but it's also making fun of sequels, making fun of reboots, and is also giving us a love letter to Kevin Smith's career over the last 25 years because he has been doing this since 1994 when Clerks originally came out, and he has created this massive universe, like an MCU universe of all these characters that revolve around, in essence, Jay and Silent Bob. Yes, Randall and Dante were the original people that it rotated around, but if you watch the movies, Jay and Silent Bob are kind of like the floating characters. They're the ones that everybody knows, they're the ones that everybody deals with, and they are the most integral characters to the plot of the stories themselves. Chasing Amy, the whole story of Chasing Amy is told through Kevin Smith's character of Silent Bob. When you get into Clerks, there's that whole spiel that Kevin Smith has, and so on and so forth. They are there to help fight the fallen angels and Dogma. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And so this movie is giving a chance of these two characters to have their own movie again, to be able to expand their characters. Yes, they're the same old characters that deal drugs and have sex jokes and do all kinds of things. There's gay jokes, blah blah blah. You know who these characters are. You know what they're known for. Jason Mewes has the dirtiest mouth in Hollywood because of Kevin Smith. And so this movie is like a love letter to these two characters and what they've done in the history of the Askew universe and why they're so beloved. And this movie is also a fan love letter from Kevin Smith to us who have supported him through everything. This movie throws everything at you, including the kitchen sink of cameo references, of people you love in this universe, of anything you know about. It's in there, and on top of that, it makes fun of Kevin Smith's career. It makes fun of certain other people's careers. It does everything with such passion that's almost kind of cathartic in a way, and almost kind of beautiful to watch. It's a really funny movie. It's a really dirty movie, but it's almost just a beautiful look at something that we followed most of our lives. I mean, think about it. It's 94, so it's 25 years ago. So what is that? It would make me like, I don't know, 12, 13 years old or something like that. And now I'm, what, 37? It's just really insane to think about that these characters and this and this and this and this have really impacted, my view on comedy and so on and so forth. And it's because of how Kevin Smith writes, material. And this movie is not afraid to go meta. This movie is so meta that it makes jokes about meta-ness. I mean, there are so many references packed into each second of this movie. It's fantastic. And what's so funny is this movie is basically rebooting the Jay and Silent Bob Strike backstory because these two characters of Jay and Silent Bob have their names taken away from them. They find out there's a reboot of the story, and they go to Hollywood to take down the story. And it's just it leads into what we think is going to be a typical story. We start seeing like oddball characters. Fred Armisen comes in, which is really funny. He has a great moment and a great cameo in it. And then it goes somewhere where I was not expecting. Kevin Smith in the intro video actually talked about Jason Mewes and how much he has grown as a human being over 25 years. He went from this guy who had drug problems and alcoholism problems to somebody who is actually a pretty decent actor, who is having a lot of fun, who now has a kid and a wife. And in the process, because of how much Jason Mewes has gone through, Kevin Smith has almost made this his movie. And I'm not going to give it away because I think it's a fun little tidbit and kind of surprise. But the character arc and the push forward of his character from being this drug dealer and just over the top, crazy zany person like we see in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, to having a real emotional depth. It's really fun to see. This is a movie that just hinges on how good of a character Jay's character is and Silent Bob's character is, but especially Jay, because he's a guy that you think is a class idiot. And yes, he still plays a class idiot in this, but when you give a character like that some range and they're able to use that range and actually become effective with it, it's awesome. The one thing I do respect about Kevin Smith, especially in this movie, is he's not afraid to attack both sides. He attacks the left, he attacks the right, he goes straight down the middle, torpedoes on both sides. And kind of like, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, he is just willing to go for it. And it's really, really funny. But the one character I have to talk about outside of the Jason Mewes character, like I said, it's his story in essence, is a character played by Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith, and she plays the daughter of one of the more well-known people in this series. And her character is just wonderful. She has three other friends who are multicultural. There's a bunch of jokes about that, but they are differences of society. One has hearing aids, is deaf, one is Chinese, one is Muslim. And it's just a really cool thing to see. It's a really cool thing to put into a movie like this that's dirty and grungy. But there's so much emotional depth and so much emotional range to what Harley Quinn Smith's character is having to do in this movie, that even though she's been in other movies with Kevin Smith as a director, it feels like she is giving an actual arc and she plays it really, really well. And there's a lot of running jokes in this movie about they're making fun of Kevin Smith as a dad, or the fact of fathers putting especially the famous directors putting their family into movies and kind of pushing them in that direction. And when those jokes come up, they're really, really funny. So I appreciate that. But Harley Quinn Smith, like I said, she has a good emotional arc in this movie, and it's just fun to watch. With that said, I mean, this movie, like I said, it has a lot of cameos, it has a lot of material, there's a lot of cool surprise cameos. It's very, very funny, but it's not a movie for people who don't like Kevin Smith, who don't understand Kevin Smith, who have never really watched his films, because you're not going to get the references when certain people start showing up. You're like, why is he here? Why is he here? Why is he in this other role? It really becomes confusing. But like I said, for somebody like myself or somebody who likes this universe, it really just shows you how much fun Kevin Smith has been doing with creating these characters. And you could tell that he really wanted to make this movie because he wanted to tell this story. Even though he says it in the intro video, you could tell after the heart attack that he had to do this. He had to do something to just show everyone that he really just misses this universe, because he keeps talking about he's going to go back to it and going to do this and blah blah blah, and he never does anything outside of Tusk and yoga hosers and stuff like that. But like I said, everybody in this movie is playing their parts. Everybody's having fun. When people come back, it's just like a warm blanket of characters. And it's a movie that is, like I said, definitely funny. There's some really funny moments. When it gets towards the end, it gets so chaotically out of control that you just can't help but laugh. And it's just, you could tell that Kevin Smith has a lot of clout and the stuff he's doing in this, and the fact that they're playing off it. It's just, I like it. I enjoy it. It's not the perfect movie. It's not the best in the series, but you know what? I have a lot of fun with Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. It's a movie with a lot of emotional resonance, and also a movie that, when I look back at Kevin Smith's career, I realize that he's had a lot of misses, but he's had a lot of impactful movies that just I can go back and watch and have a good laugh and find funny. And Justin Long's character from Zack and Mary's Makeup Porno is in this movie, which is really funny because now that connects to Zack and Mary universe, which is hilarious because I didn't really think that it needed to be in this universe, but it's funny either way because I love his character from that movie. So yeah, that'll do it. That's my take on Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. If you like this movie, or if you like the Askew universe, tell me what your favorite character is. Tell me what your favorite movie is. If you see this movie, tell me what you like about it. But otherwise, hit the subscribe button, join Movie Emporium, hit the notification button at the top to find out what's coming next, and comment below on any video that you watch on the channel. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Peace out. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out Movie Emporium. I really appreciate it. If you want to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button and the bell at the top. find out what's coming next for Movie Emporium. Also, check out these 2 videos. They're amazing. I think they're awesome. I think you'll enjoy them too. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.